an actor who went from Hollywood royalty to federal prison, then clawed his way back to break 2 Guinness World Records in 2024. The man who looked straight into the camera and said words that would haunt Marvel Studios: "There's only ever gonna be one Blade." Wesley Snipes isn't just making headlines, he's rewriting the entire playbook on comebacks, and what's happening behind the scenes is wild. When Deadpool and Wolverine shattered records in 2024, pulling in $1.3 billion worldwide, nobody expected Wesley Snipes to steal the entire film. There he was, back in the iconic black leather, and theaters erupted. But here's the kicker. While Snipes was breaking records, Marvel's Blade reboot with Mahershala Ali has been stuck in development purgatory for 6 straight years. Announced with massive fanfare in 2019, it still has no release date, no director, and apparently no hope. 6 screenwriters, 2 directors walked away. Supposed to hit theaters in 2023, then 2024, then November 2025, until Marvel pulled the plug in March 2025 and removed it entirely from their schedule. Let's rewind, because Snipes' journey reads like a crime thriller mixed with a redemption arc. In 1998, when Blade dropped, superhero movies were basically a joke. Then Wesley Snipes showed up as a half-vampire vampire hunter with legitimate martial arts skills and genuine intensity. The film made $130 million on a $45 million budget, proving dark, violent, R-rated superhero films could work. Blade 2 in 2002 was even better. Many experts credit the trilogy with keeping Marvel alive long enough to eventually launch the MCU. Without Snipes slicing through vampires, there might not have been an Iron Man in 2008. Then 2004 happened with Blade Trinity, and everything went sideways. Ryan Reynolds and Jessica Biel joined the cast, but behind the scenes became legendary chaos. Reports surfaced that Snipes went full method actor, refusing to break character even off-camera. According to co-star Patton Oswalt and others, Snipes stayed in his trailer most of the day, only emerging for close-ups while a stand-in handled everything else. The most infamous detail? He allegedly stopped speaking to director David Goyer entirely, communicating exclusively through post-it notes signed as Blade. On a major Hollywood production, the situation escalated when Snipes took issue with what he perceived as a lack of black representation on set. Rumors swirled that Snipes tried to strangle Goyer, though Snipes firmly denies this, pointing out that a black man assaulting a director would absolutely result in prison time. Ryan Reynolds found himself performing opposite someone who refused to acknowledge his existence. Many of Reynolds' funniest ad-libbed lines came from genuine frustration. There's a moment where he says, "He hates me, doesn't he?" That wasn't scripted. That was Reynolds commenting on his actual relationship with Snipes. The whole production became a nightmare that resulted in a mediocre film. But that was nothing compared to what came next. While at his career peak, something sinister was happening with his finances. Snipes had placed his trust in advisors feeding him bizarre theories about taxation, including Ken Starr, who would later be exposed as a massive fraudster with connections to Bernie Madoff. They convinced Snipes he didn't owe federal income taxes using the 861 argument, a fringe theory claiming US citizens could only be taxed on foreign income. It's nonsense rejected by every court, but it sounded convincing. Snipes stopped filing tax returns from 1999 through 2004, during which he earned approximately $37 million. He even filed fraudulent amended returns claiming he deserved $12 million in refunds. When the IRS came calling, he doubled down, sending threatening letters claiming the IRS was an illegitimate terrorist organization. He declared himself a non-resident alien, despite being born in Florida. He transferred assets to a pure trust, claiming he no longer owned his money. Every move made things exponentially worse. In October 2006, federal prosecutors hit him with conspiracy to defraud the United States, filing false claims, and 6 counts of failing to file returns. If convicted on all counts, he faced 16 years in prison. The trial became a media sensation. On February 1st in 2008, the jury acquitted him of the serious felony charges, but convicted him on 3 misdemeanor counts of failing to file returns. Judge William Terrell Hodges sentenced him to the maximum 3 years. He appealed multiple times, claiming bias and racism. Every appeal was rejected. On December 9th, 2010, Wesley Snipes became federal inmate number 433550008. He served 28 months before release in April 2013, followed by house arrest. But the financial nightmare continued. The IRS placed a lien for $23.5 million in back taxes and penalties. He offered $850,000. They countered with $9.5 million. Reports suggest he still owes around that amount today. For most people, this would be the end. But Snipes holds a 5th-degree black belt in Shotokan Karate and 2nd degree in Hapkido. He's trained in capoeira, kung fu at the Shaolin Temple, Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu, arnis, and kickboxing since age 12. He understands discipline and resilience. There was even talk in 2005 about him fighting Joe Rogan in UFC. His real martial arts skills made Blade's fight scenes authentic without stunt doubles. After release, he quietly rebuilt, small roles in The Expendables 3, Chirac, The Player. Then, in 2019, a significant part in Netflix's True Story opposite Kevin Hart showed he could still command the screen. Directors started remembering why they'd cast him originally. The real turning point came in 2024 when Ryan Reynolds sent a text about Deadpool and Wolverine. After 2 decades of reported animosity, Reynolds reached out. Snipes initially didn't believe it would happen. Marvel wouldn't be interested. Disney wouldn't sign off. Mahershala Ali was already cast as the new Blade. But Reynolds is persuasive. And when Snipes showed up on set, keeping his involvement secret even from family, magic happened. When audiences saw Wesley Snipes as Blade again, theaters exploded. The scene where he delivers, "There's only ever gonna be one Blade," became an instant meme and not-so-subtle dig at Marvel's inability to get their reboot off the ground. Guinness confirmed he now holds records for longest career as a live-action Marvel character, beating Hugh Jackman, and longest gap between appearances at 25 years and 240 days. The film's massive $1.3 billion success sparked intense speculation. Industry insider Daniel Richtman reports Snipes could appear in multiple undisclosed MCU projects. Avengers: Secret Wars and Doomsday are likely candidates. Think about it logically. Marvel brought back Tobey Maguire and Andrew Garfield as Spider-Man. Why wouldn't they bring back the most iconic Marvel character from the Fox era? Especially when their current Blade project is deader than the vampires he hunts. Mahershala Ali himself expressed frustration at the Jurassic World Rebirth premiere. Asked when filming would begin, his response was blunt: "Call Marvel. I'm ready. Let them know I'm ready." That's not confidence. That's weariness from an actor who signed on in 2019, and here we are in 2025 with nothing. David S. Goyer, who wrote the original trilogy, recently admitted he's puzzled by Marvel's inability to crack the story. A vampire hunter hunting vampires should be simple. The irony is beautiful. Marvel Studios, masters of the shared universe, can't figure out Blade. Meanwhile, Wesley Snipes shows up for maybe 10 minutes in Deadpool and Wolverine and steals everything. He didn't need complex origin stories or sequel setups, he just needed to be Blade. This puts Marvel in a fascinating position. They've got Mahershala Ali, a 2-time Academy Award winner, committed to the role. Years of development and millions invested, but they also have Wesley Snipes, the only person audiences actually want, proving he can still do it at 62. Speculation suggests Marvel might let Snipes return for one final proper Blade film, or maybe both versions exist in different universes. Adding fuel to the fire, Snipes signed with independent artist group in October 2024, signaling serious career ambitions. You don't sign with a major agency without projects lined up. He's cryptic on social media, sharing articles without confirming anything. He knows silence generates more buzz. What makes his story compelling isn't just the comeback, it's what it represents. A man who had everything, lost everything, served federal prison time, faced financial ruin and destroyed reputation, then found a way back through sheer talent. When people think Blade, they think Wesley Snipes. No recasting can change that fundamental truth. The conversation has shifted dramatically. Before Deadpool and Wolverine, mentioning Snipes meant referencing tax evasion or Trinity disaster. Now those are footnotes in a larger story about resilience. Young fans discovering him through the cameo or watching the original trilogy, realizing what they missed. Social media argues he's the greatest comic book casting ever, that he paved the way for every black superhero after. Wesley Snipes represents something larger, about punishment and redemption in American culture. Can someone who served federal prison time truly be welcomed back? Can past mistakes be acknowledged without becoming permanent stains? His journey tests whether our beliefs in second chances are genuine. The answer appears to be yes. His physical condition at 62 remains impressive. While many action stars his age rely on stunt doubles, Snipes maintains the training regimen he established as a teenager. That 5th degree black belt required decades of consistent dedication. The mental toughness that earned those belts helped him survive prison and exile. The cultural impact of Blade has been reassessed as people recognize how groundbreaking those films were. Before Black Panther, before Miles Morales, before the MCU prioritized diversity, there was Blade. A black superhero who didn't need explanation, played with confidence that transcended race while representing powerful imagery. Film scholars now cite Blade as a turning point, proving R-rated comic adaptations could succeed commercially and that Marvel properties had cinematic potential. Industry insiders who've worked with Snipes recently describe a changed man. Gone is the reportedly difficult actor from Trinity. In his cut place is someone prepared, professional, and grateful. Whether that change came from prison, humility through hardship, or simply aging and perspective, directors want to work with him again. Despite his comeback, Snipes reportedly still owes the IRS approximately $9.5 million. That staggering debt shapes every professional decision. He needs to work for economic survival, not just creative fulfillment. Every paycheck goes partly towards settling decades-old tax obligations. It's a burden that would crush most people. The speculation machine hasn't slowed. Fan theories flood social media daily, analyzing every interview word, dissecting posts for hidden clues. When he shares an article, people interpret it as confirmation. The hunger for more Blade is palpable in a way few actors experience this late in careers. What does Wesley Snipes want? Is he content with cameos celebrating his legacy? Does he hunger for one final starring role, focused on financial stability? Or has he transcended needing validation? Interviews suggest a mix of all these, but he's savvy enough not to reveal his full hand. What we know, he's not finished. Actors winding down don't sign with new agencies, maintain intensive training, or engage fan speculation. Every action suggests someone seeing more chapters ahead, whether more Marvel appearances, different franchises, dramatic roles, or something unexpected. The trajectory is upward. Hollywood, that once cast him aside, is recalculating. Executives who wouldn't return calls a decade ago suddenly want meetings. Projects impossible during exile are now on the table. The industry runs on momentum, and Snipes has it. Smart producers recognize his name, generates instant press and audience interest. There's something poetic about his story. He soared too high and fell catastrophically, but didn't stay down. The universe provided an opportunity through Reynolds' text, and he was prepared to seize it. He'd done the work, maintained skills, stayed in shape, remained open, so when the moment arrived, he didn't fumble. That's the essence of luck. Wesley Snipes has already won. Not by conquering Hollywood or achieving ultimate vindication, but by reclaiming his narrative. He's no longer defined by lowest moments. Tax evasion is context, not the headline. Trinity drama is a footnote, not his legacy. He's the guy who came back, broke records, reminded everyone why he mattered. Future film students will analyze his performances. Martial arts practitioners will reference his authentic technique. Actors facing controversies will study his comeback playbook. He's become a case study in resilience worth more than any box office hit or award. It's a legacy transcending entertainment, speaking to fundamental human capacity for growth and redemption. The latest headlines aren't breaking news in traditional sense. They're chapters in an ongoing story more interesting than any single development. Each rumor, interview, social media post, pieces of a larger mosaic depicting a man who refused to accept his story was over. He rewrote the ending himself. When Marvel finally announces their plans, remember, you witnessed something rare. Someone falling from absolute peak, hitting rock bottom spectacularly, and climbing back through determination and skill. Hollywood, notorious for eating its young and discarding veterans, made space for a second act nobody predicted. A legend refused to fade quietly, forcing the world to remember why legends become legends. There's only ever going to be one Blade, and his name is Wesley Snipes. Everything else is trying to recapture lightning in a bottle he already drank from. The question isn't whether he's back. That's answered. The question is how much farther this comeback can go. Based on everything we've seen, the answer looks like yes. Some stories demand to be told all the way through, and this is one of them. What do you think? Should Marvel give Wesley Snipes one more solo Blade film, or should they stick with Mahershala Ali if the reboot ever happens? Drop your thoughts in the comments below. And if you think Snipes deserves to return to the MCU for Secret Wars or Doomsday, smash that like button and let Marvel know what the fans really want. Don't forget to subscribe and hit the notification bell so you never miss updates on Wesley Snipes, the Blade Saga, and all the latest Hollywood comebacks. We've got more wild stories coming your way, so stick around. This is just the beginning.